Hey guys, good morning. Laura with Garden Answer. We're here at one of our friends' houses this morning getting ready to do a little mini makeover to one of their front flower beds. So I was here the other day and I walked by it and I thought, ooh, I wonder if they would let me plant that up. I love doing projects at other people's homes and they were really happy to let me do it, which is amazing. So this area is right by their front door. It's something that they walk by a lot. It's something that you see from the street. So I thought it'd be fun to just deck it out with beautiful, beautiful plants. And this is the north side of their house, so it is quite shady, but it does get a little bit of afternoon sun, just a short window. So that actually makes it a pretty versatile area. So what I want to do is go grab the plants and then I will kind of explain my idea behind the design. Okay, so here's what we've got for plants. There are 3 distinct layers here. Let's start with the back row first. So this is a beautiful hydrangea. It's called Invincible Mini Mauvette. You can see what the blooms look like when they're starting to emerge. They're kind of this really deep purplish pink. And then as they age, they kind of lighten a little bit. And then check this one out. This is probably the oldest bloom on all 3 of them that we've got here, but check out the size. Absolutely enormous. I think this is going to be a perfect plant as the back row here because they only grow about 30 to 36 inches tall and wide. So they'll just fill in this area, kind of like a little hydrangea hedge right here, but they won't block the view from the window out. I think it's going to be a really good choice for this spot. Now this is a hydrangea arborescens, which means they bloom on new wood, and it's kind of like a dwarf Annabelle type, except for they have really, really strong stems. So you might be familiar with the old type of Annabelles that they get huge blooms and then kind of tend to flop over. These don't. These have super, super strong stems, and you can see that. I mean, just in looking at the plant, you can see the structure and how sturdy they are. It is recommended in early spring, just as the new growth is starting to emerge, to cut this plant back by about 1/3 of its total height. So it's super easy. There's really no guesswork to it. There's nothing you can do to really mess this plant up. And that's another reason why I chose this one, because I thought it would be really easy care for our friends. For our next layer down here, we have Fall in Love Sweetly Japanese Anemones. And I think this is a perfect step down because while the hydrangeas grow about 30 to 36 inches tall, these ones grow about 20 to 26 inches tall. So it'll be a perfect layer down. And the hydrangeas, they bloom all summer. They're a super strong rebloomer. So they'll provide a lot of color up here. And then this one comes in late summer through fall with these really sweet double pink flowers. And they'll just be a really nice little accent color down here. They're super easy to take care of. You just come in late fall or early spring, cut them back to the ground, like this far from the ground, and that's it. That's all you have to do, and so I thought this would be a really great one. Now, you might be familiar with the older varieties of Japanese anemones that would spread like wildfire. These do not do that. They do spread a little bit, but they spread really, really slow. So it's not going to take over this bed, and I thought that that was pretty important. I wanted everything to stay pretty contained in this area. This one actually attracts butterflies, and it's resistant to deer and rabbits. I don't think deer and rabbits are probably an issue here, but you know, it might be a consideration for your garden. And then for the last layer right in front here, you guys have seen me plant lots of these. These are an autumn frost hosta. These just light up the space. I needed something that had the bright pop of color, and this definitely brings it. So this one grows 10 to 12 inches tall. So we've got 36 inches, 26, and 12. I think it's going to be just the perfect arrangement. I did a little swoop here, just a gentle swoop. I didn't want it to be a straight line, you know, right here. I wanted there to be some ease to the area. So anyway, what I want to do is just get these all in the ground, and then I brought some mulch over so we can kind of finish the whole area up. We are going to be running some irrigation too. There is irrigation coming up here, so that's nice. We don't have to run it from anywhere else, but I'm going to run more tubing and get an emitter to each one of these plants. All right, I got all the plants in and I got the irrigation run and mulch down. I think it looks so pretty. So after I got all the plants planted, they had existing drip tubing, which I showed you. It was just 1/2-inch black poly tubing that came up out of the ground. So I just connected some of my own black poly tubing that I brought, just using a straight coupler. And then I just kind of ran a big loop around all of the plants, and I put individual emitters just right into the black poly tubing. I used a punch tool, then I could pop my emitter in there, and it runs right by the root ball of each one of these plants. So I used a 1 gallon per hour emitter on the hostas and the anemones, and then I used a 2 gallon per hour emitter on all the hydrangeas because they tend to want a little bit more water. But I think that they should all do really well. Now I did let our friends know that they would need to keep their eyes on these because sometimes drip is just not enough the first season or two, so they might have to give it a little bit of supplemental water throughout this first season. Then I just used a little bit of bark mulch that I think dressed up the area really beautifully. So anyway guys, I hope that this was inspiring to see come together, just an idea to do with a space like this, because you know it can be a little bit overwhelming to think, okay, what can I do that's not going to block my view or block the window, or you know, what kind of plants can I use? And all of these are appropriately sized to where, you know, the very minimal maintenance. I mean, this is a busy young family. They have 4 kids, so they're going all the time. So they needed something that was pretty yet didn't require a ton of work. And then, you know, you could, if you wanted to do something with more privacy, I mean, you could design this 100 different ways, but you could do a Japanese maple in the corner and then kind of start tall here and work your way down that way, you know, providing a little bit of protection for this little patio area. But I think having this 3-foot hedge of hydrangeas will be beautiful, and then they could hang like a wall fountain or wall art, or just leave it blank, whatever they want to do. But I just hope that this serves as inspiration for you guys, giving you some ideas and showing you some really cool and pretty plants. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.